Hey, everybody. Welcome to your bonus early content of the Not So Live show until Dave hops on, because Cheryl reminded me Cheryl's wearing plum because we wanted to talk about Pluribus. So pause now if you've not watched the entire season of Pluribus. Spoilers will be included. Okay, there, you paused. Come back. Okay, so I just said to Cheryl how chat wasn't doing what I said it should. I love chat. It runs my life basically, but it will still lie. It will say something, and I'll say, that's not true. You're right. I'll never do that again. And then it'll lie some more, and I'll go, please stop. Good. Thanks for calling me out on that. I did it again. And you specifically told me, I will try not to in the future. Please call me out if I do. So you said what when I said that? Because, by the way, Chad is making up quotes for an article that I know I have. I have these really long chats. I try to keep them in one place. And so then I'm like, do you remember? Yep, I sure remember. And then after like 3, 4, 5 back and forths, it's like, fine, I'll just go and cut and paste it again. You clearly don't know it. So what were you saying about Pluribus?
I was just asking you if this felt like Pluribus at all, because it sure feels like it to me. All that agreeableness, like we know everything, but whatever you want, feels very AI to me.
All right. So you saw the stem cell thing coming, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like the minute they posted on the big screen at which hotel?
The Westgate Hotel in Las Vegas.
Which I've waved to as when I was just there, right?
Right. Nobody goes to that hotel.
No. Except for who's the guy that has the Vegas setup? Who lives there now?
Diabate,
who lives there now. But my question is, when it finally dawns on her, she still doesn't say, but I don't want you to, and it won't please me. Like, can't she still say that to them? Because she's like, you have my cells, don't you? And she's like, we do. And she could have said, cool, you don't have my permission to use them. Like, it won't please me. You do everything to please me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I think there's a very good chance that's true. I'm not really sure. There is speculation that, that the scene in the last show where the Peruvian girl gets, there is some speculation that was not necessarily what she wanted, that maybe she had been coerced and maybe she just doesn't trust them at all.
Well, I had forgotten completely who she was, but I think they showed it in the previously on, and if not, it was pointed out I watched this guy Pete Peppers. I don't know if you watch any of these like new rock stars. I love Pete Peppers and his voice. I started watching him for Fargo, and just got hooked. My wife is like, that guy's voice is annoying. I'm like, no, it's not. He's amazing. So he pointed out that she was the one who was like, why don't you want to do it, Carol? When they all first met around the table that very first time. So she did want to. But again, we see what you and I already know, which is that, yeah, bliss is gone. Happiness is gone. You're now part of the machine once you convert. Yeah,
it's just not the same, right? Like they say they're happy, but I don't think that's actually true, right? How can you be happy leaving your little goat? I don't know. Like there's just something wrong with
that. That was so sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so this also points out my biggest nitpick that nobody has mentioned, and I'm surprised because the idea of it has come up and joked about it, which was when she goes to visit, what's his name again in Vegas?
Diabate.
When she visits him, and he's like, oh, you mean the eating people thing? Like, oh yeah, we all talk about it. We meet twice a week, right? Do you know what day we are on the show?
No, I didn't check. I didn't check that.
We're at day 10. So you couldn't have met twice a week. You've met maybe twice total. Is that too nitpicky?
Hard for you to pick that up because it's only been like what 40 or 60 days. Like they have.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that early on, it was only day 10, and they show the clock. Right? She's still grieving. Everybody talks about how give Carol a break. She's still grieving. And when he said that, immediately I thought, what do you mean twice a week? We're in the second week.
So why did you say that then?
Well, no, it's meant for humor. Like, we talk all the time without you. We've been meeting twice a week, but it's like, anyway. Insane nitpick, but these are the things I pick up on that again I thought would be brought up by. I listen to The Ringer. I watch Pete Peppers. What else do you listen to or watch?
There's this one. Oh gosh, I got to remember. It's usually a YouTube thing. I'm usually kind of rolling on YouTube. There's one. I'll have to remember Popper, something like that. This guy is smart.
Not
Like
Pete
he's the
Peppers?
one. No, not Pete Peppers, because Pete Peppers is very. I think he's very insightful, and I think he does a great job. But this other guy is like nerdy. Like he talked about the Georgia O'Keeffe painting that Carol took and the significance of that. He
What
talked
what
about
what was the significance of that though?
the
For those of us,
significance is the name of the painting is the belladonna.
okay.
And belladonna is a flower that is used, like it's this beautiful flower, but it's actually used to it's like poison or something. Like you can use it to subvert things. And so he was implying early on that she's the belladonna, that she's chumming herself up to these folks, especially after she spends all that time alone. And yes, she's happy to see Zosha when Zosha comes back, but that she's actually fully aware that she is chumming up to them because that's going to allow her to be able to overcome them. It's no longer the I'm going to yell at them and
Right. Well,
she's figured out a way.
that episode is called the Charm Offensive because they
They
were
were
both
both doing it
right.
exactly.
But
And so
then
Carol's
but then when Carol flips when Menuso shows up, it seemed interesting because if we think she chooses to hang out with the girl for a while instead of world destruction, right? At least for a while, but then is it just basically as soon as she finds out that she's not so special anymore, she's like, fine, fuck it, like scorched earth?
I think I keep going back to the idea that this is a character who has always wanted to feel accepted, always, her whole life. Her mom didn't accept her, her family didn't accept her, right? They sent her to that conversion camp, right? Like there's never been a time when she's just felt, except with Helen, that she's just felt completely accepted for who she was. She writes these books she doesn't even like, and everybody likes her, but she's, and so I think that there was part of her that really wanted to feel like, oh no, Zosha like loves me and I can just diabate this, right? Like I'll go for it. And I do think, and I don't know if you've ever had this in relationships where there's this point where you realize, oh no, they're just being nice because they want something, right? Like they just want to sell me the car, or they just want to like, that happens.
Do you mean every woman I've ever known, Cheryl?
Or like I feel like that way with like every person I've and so I just think that just dawns on her. I think she just realizes, okay, this is totally fake and I'm done. So yeah, get me a bomb, right?
I think Cheryl, you and I, we could solve marriage right now. Okay. You've got how many years of marriage under your belt?
I think like what, 36? I've lost
count.
count.
36. I'm right at 20.
Nice.
So, we are all on our best behavior, right? We're all on our best behavior in the early days, right?
Yes.
And one of the best things someone ever said to me, because someone was going to ask this woman to marry him, and he said, hey, before you marry them, like it had only been like 3 months, he's like, see all 4 seasons, right? Figuratively and literally. I've also heard it, you want to see the person at their worst, right?
Big stress, that sort of thing.
Well, at their worst, like they lose their minds at something, they yell at you, they whatever, like at their worst, like all of it.
Okay.
So, and you're probably not going to get it before marriage. You might, but you're probably not.
Hard to, yes.
Right? You might get close to it, right? I mean, I know that if my wife like didn't like me anymore, it would not be pleasant for me. You know what I mean? Like it could get really bad really quickly, right? So we all do that. And like I see it with my daughter. My daughter wants something from dad. She acts a little differently than now. My daughter and I are very close right now. And so it's hard to tell the difference, but for a while it was like, oh, she wants something. So
yeah,
that's the thing is like, if I know this already about my wife, or this about your husband, and then you're like, you learn to operate in the rest of it. Right. Which is, you might not be the most fun to be around all the time, but it's okay because I love you and we've made this commitment and we're doing this thing, even though you're far from on your best behavior and X percentage of the time on your worst behavior.
Right.
I don't know. That's just the thought I had. Just thinking out loud here.
So this applies to what we were saying. How?
I'm just saying that, like, when you said, well, you know how you've ever been in a relationship? I'm like, no, that's everybody. Like any man like knows that like there's a woman who wants something from them, and then there's kind of the rest of the time. I mean, that's kind of how it is.
Right. Relationships are built on reciprocity, right? I mean, I think we always want something from everybody. I just think there are those relationships when you realize the only reason why this person's being nice to me. Like I had this instance, this was years ago at work, where there was a person who had just stopped being friendly. Like they kind of felt like they didn't need me. And so they just weren't terribly friendly to me. And then things kind of didn't go their way. And then all of a sudden, here they come, like super nice again, right? And you know exactly, like I say to the cleaning lady, who's my good friend, she comes up to me, she says, what's that all about? I said, oh, she wants something. And she did, she wanted something. So I do think that can very much happen in every relationship if you're not careful.
Well, since people applauded the real talk I gave the other day on post-workout confessions, I will say that I struggle with this frequently in that I have relationships with a lot of athletes. And sometimes I need something like, can I get a quote on this? Or can you give me some information? And sometimes I generally just want to see how they're doing because I like them. Right. And it's a really hard balance. So I'll use Chris, for example, because I know I can talk. I know she'd be cool with me talking about it. So Chris and I are like bros, right? And so I will reach out to Chris about whatever, just, hey, how's it going? Or congratulations. But then if I have to ask something right after, I feel bad. If it's like, oh, by the way, like, what did you hear about this? Or, because sometimes it might be the very next text, but I feel bad about it. And again, Chris, if you're listening, I know that like you don't feel that way about me and I don't feel that way about you. But these are the kinds of things that go through my head, right? I could have said Rich just as well. Rich and Ryan and I are close, right? And it's the same thing. It's like, I know we're beyond media person and athlete, but it's still there. And then there's some people I'm not nearly as close with where I definitely feel like awkward. Like, can I ask them this? Or
it's just transactional.
I don't want them to think it's transactional, but sometimes it is. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, so have you heard of that concept in relationships, deposits and withdrawals?
Absolutely.
Right. And so I think the balance is, if you care about somebody, there are more deposits than there are withdrawals, right? And that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to help them feel like you're not making a withdrawal just because you just made a deposit. I mean, you're being nice to Chris more than you're asking things of her. And she knows that sometimes you're nice to her and you're just nice to her, right?
Right. Well, I call it the trust bank because that's what I heard. And again, it works with marriage, right? You put a lot in the trust bank. And then once in a while, you got to be like, I know I said I'd be there at 5, but I'm going to be late because of X. And you've put enough in the trust bank that it's not a big deal. That's a random example. So I talk about this with Spartan all the time, right? And now HYROX. So the trust bank of gets broken of, we said X and now we've changed it, right? We told you this, now it's this. Right. And so much gets taken out of the trust bank that forget it. Even when they do one thing, you're just like, well, finally, for fuck's sake, like you've taken so much trust. It's never the one thing that pisses off athletes or communities. It's like the 13th thing because the trust has just been eroded. You've taken so much out of the trust bank over and over.
Yes. That overall, the balance has been off for far too long.
Right. But I feel like, again, a healthy relationship, it's never even. There should be a ton in deposits so you can withdraw once in a while. That's sort of the goal, right?
So I don't know if you're familiar with John Gottman, but he's kind of the premier, sort of the classic OG marriage counseling study guy.
I'm gonna text Dave, by the way, because I don't know.
Okay. I don't think he's coming. Text him while I tell you this study. So they studied relationships that were considered highly functioning and relationships that were considered dysfunctional. And they studied the ratio between positive and negative interactions, right? Okay. So in a highly functioning relationship, what do you think the ratio of positive to negative interactions was? Any guesses?
Well, like I said, I feel like it should be way up, not close to even. That's my guess.
It's 5 to 1.
Yeah.
right? You got to have 5 to 1, right? The people who had what were considered dysfunctional relationships, like there were all sorts of problems and all sorts of red flags, the ratio was 1 to 1.
Right.
Right. And so even if you feel like, oh, well, I'm kind of doing the same, you're actually undermining the relationship. You got to lay it on thick.
Well, I feel like there's some stuff that to me, again, like I'm this old. I've been working on myself for this long. I've had this much therapy. I've read this many books. Like to me, here comes my wife. Look at this advantage of the thing. I can see who's coming behind me.
Better not get stutters on that.
Oh my God, she brought me dinner. Do you want to say hi to Cheryl?
Man. That's really nice.
Cheryl? Oh, are you on a call? That's fine. It's fine because I have to take the headphones off anyway.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
I'm on the phone with my sister. Good to see you.
I'm telling her why we have such an amazing marriage. Why? Because she has a successful one as well. You'll be interested to hear later. So it's like, duh. But like when I hear my friends talking and I hear what they're saying, and I've also given up on trying to fix people, so I don't give them advice. But it's like in my mind, I'm like, oh, you're trying to win. Like you think winning the argument is the game. And it's like,
that's not the game.
But to me, that's what people in their teens and early 20s play. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you won that one. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So
in the meantime, people hate them, right? Like they're just, sick of it.
Listen. Don't keep score. We all keep score a little, but don't keep score, right? We all kind of do a little. Like
apparently keep score. I don't think that's even something that we consciously do. But I know, I know the people in my life who are safe, and I know the people in my life who are not safe, right? And that's just me kind of internally sort of remembering the frequency of interactions and whether or not I came away a better person for it. I just think we just do that.
Right. But I'm saying in the relationship, if you're constantly doing but I did this for you, but if you're just playing that game, then it's a losing game. But
correct.
But we all
keep pointed out it's not working.
Right. But again, we all kind of sometimes think, hey, if I do this, I can probably get out of that later. Like we all think that, right? That comes up, that happens, right?
Yes.
But again, the goal, I would say to people, is to get to where your partner just trusts you anyway, right? So my wife will say to me, do you want to come to this thing? It'd be cool if you were there, but I don't really care. This thing, Matt, can you please come? I come because, again, it's like the trust bank. It's like she's only asking because it fucking matters. I don't have to go to every kid's birthday party. I don't have to go to because some couple invited us. She's like, I kind of like them, but if you don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. I'm like, cool, I don't want to do it. And I think a lot of people are like, well, I did this for you and you should have to do. And it's like, yeah, we don't, we have a great thing going now with the car rides. I never picked up the kids because I was the one working. And it was like something major had to be going on. So now we're doing this dance. Right. And I kind of hated it at first. I hate having to take them. I hate stopping my day to going to get them. But now we have a pretty good balance of she teaches sometimes in the morning and sometimes at night. And so it's like, hey, if you pick them up, I'll get them, or vice versa. And sometimes it's shit, honey, you got to get them 3 nights this week. And it's like, I'm so happy to do it because I know that she doesn't ask me unless it matters. Yeah. I hope people don't think we're whatever. I feel like now we're like preaching and being hoity-toity about our relationships, which, by the way, is not perfect.
Can I just point out that I think both my husband and I would both say that we're kind of a mess. Like we don't have that sort of perfect, I don't know. Are we in love? Sure. I love him, right? Like, of course I love him on some levels, but that whole romance thing and everything, that has been long gone for a long time. Like we had a tough weekend this weekend. So my life kind of fell apart and he's taking care of his 92-year-old mother and we are both just miserable, right? And so we're just making ourselves miserable. It was horrible. Well, and yet, that underlying thing that you're talking about, how just the underlying commitment, right? Like just that idea of, the Greeks had different forms of love. There was like eros, which is the erotic love, that we Americans love to talk about. And then there's the philios, which is like the brotherly love. And then there's like this, what is the other one called? Somebody's going to know it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that low-lying, just you're a human and I care about you, sort of charitable empathy, compassion kind of love. And marriage counselors will talk about how the eros kind of goes away after a while. Like it comes and goes. It's not really super permanent. And you really do just get into a routine as a couple. And, you know, somebody mentioned on a podcast, you know, Jack and Rose go to Costco, you know, like you just get to where you're just living life and you're raising the kids or whatever. But that philios, that brotherhood, that kind of friendship stays, and definitely that deeper love of just the compassion and the caring. And so you kind of like, we could make it through a weekend of being miserable, right? And it wasn't going to like destroy everything. And we weren't like, oh, we don't love each other anymore, right? Like you still love each other. It's just kind of a different thing. And I think that over time, you kind of develop this patina that is kind of this great partnership.
Well, I think, and you're pointing out to me that, you know, my wife and I still have let's call it the distraction of raising these kids. So once they're out of the house, now it's really just you two, right?
Yes.
So, you know, Emma got her first flat tire. Thankfully, it was at a friend's house. Calls me in tears. And it's like, Stacy's napping. I'm working. I'm not going to solve this right now. And Emma's texting me like crazy. And, you know, then you tell each other about that. And there's always that. Jackson frickin' spent money. I'm going to just say it. He ordered Uber Eats. And we've told him, please don't do that without asking. And he did. And so we had to deal with that, right?
Hey, if that's your only problem, that's pretty good.
Well, I am going to say he might get a job sooner than this summer. So
okay.
We'll see what happens there.
Right.
How do we start going with all this? Oh, we were talking about Pluribus.
I know, and then you just wanted to talk about relationships. So
well, by the way, I don't even like, can we just stop and say, my wife just brought me dinner unannounced, right? Like,
that's the filios. That's that deeper love.
She just brought me dinner. She walked it back here. I didn't ask for it. And she's amazing. And I appreciate that about her. And she appreciates the way I show up for her, which a lot of it is working and making money, but it's also because, like, I mean, we've talked about this. I'm a touchy-feely love language guy. She's not. She's please get the fuck off me. Yeah. So she's acts of service, right? And gifts. Who's not gifts though, really?
I'm not gifts.
Really?
Yeah. I got everything I need. I don't need that.
Okay. In the early days, were you gifts? If he brought you home something expensive and nice?
You know, it wasn't necessarily expensive and nice, but if it was thoughtful, you know, if it was clear that he thought about me and thought that I would like the thing, but that doesn't feel like gifts. That feels like more just him being plugged in.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
Right. But yeah, so, you know, me handling whatever needed to happen, right? Like just getting this all handled or handling something with the kids or whatever. And yeah, making money, right? Like that's a big one. And she makes money now too. She works, which is great, but that's a big, like how I show up for her. So, yeah, far from figuring it out. Every day is a new whatever.
Yeah, but don't throw it all away just because it's not comfortable, right? I honestly, I was so mad at him this weekend. I was so mad. And he knows it. Like, he's not going to be upset that I'm saying this because we get this way a lot. And because when it's just the two of you, like the dynamic really does change, right? And you don't have like a lot of stuff to work on. And so it's just, I don't know, things just get, so I was so upset with him. And okay, you and I are racing mixed doubles in Phoenix in a couple weeks. Did you have something?
I want to ask you a question first.
Okay. And then I'm going to finish my story. So go. Do you want to chew first?
Were you upset with him and he knew what you were upset with him, or did you wait to then tell him what was actually bothering you?
Oh, he absolutely always knows exactly what the problem is.
Okay.
So no, I am very clear.
Do a little check. Sometimes we have that whole thing going on. We have the assumption thing going on.
That whole guess what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's
you should have known that. ...
Yeah. No. He knows. So yeah. So he was crystal clear about what the problem was, and it took me a while to sort of just cool down about the situation. And it's like, you know, fight number 43. Like we always have like the same fight all the time. Cause you know, we approach life the same, you know, the same way. We say we're going to change. We don't change. We're just two different people. And that's just the way it is. So anyway, I'm so upset with him, right? Like I'm just having a really hard time kind of dealing with all of that. And in the middle of this, so you and I are racing on Saturday morning in Phoenix, mixed doubles.
Let's go.
He was going to race Saturday morning in mixed doubles. He got a late ticket and he was so excited. And we sat down and we were like, okay, we know you've been running, but let's kind of try to sharpen you up because, you know, this person's kind of competitive and we want you to do a good job. And he wanted to do a good job for her. And so we set him up with some training, and we're in week 2 and he came up lame today, like just strained his quad like nobody's business. Like he now is just sitting in his office in pain. So he had to reach out to her. And it doesn't matter how mad I am at him about what happened this last weekend. All I care about is, you know, how's he doing and whether or not, you know, he's going to be able to like get better and how can we fix this? And I do think that happens in a functioning relationship, right? Where you don't have to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you can just, you know, you can care about somebody, right? Like I would bring him dinner, right? If he needed it, you know? So I don't know. I just think, I think we are far too quick to just be like, oh, well, this isn't working, when actually most of it's working. And we just need to continue to try to make those deposits wherever we can. So
yeah,
still kind of mad at him.
That's okay. And you will be until you're not anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the other phrases I heard a long time ago is leaving things better than you found them. So
yeah.
My dad taught me that if you borrow a piece of Tupperware or the shovel or whatever, you return it better than you found it. And I said to him at 13 or 15, what do you mean? Shouldn't you just return it like you found it? He's like, no, better than you found it. So if it's brand new, you can't get it cleaner than brand new, but you can try. So now try to do that with a relationship. Try to end the relationship better than you found it. Leave that human being better than you found them, right? So
we talked about that with you and even just the hotel staff that you interact with and so forth. You try to do that all the time.
Well,
I've watched you do that.
Well, that's a different muscle, I think. But I'm just saying that you and I are breaking up, right? I know it's very sad for you and you're heartbroken. And I could just be a dick and walk away because I'm never going to see you again anyway. Well, nowadays you might because of social, but back then, if you weren't going to see anybody, you were never going to see them again. And it's like, right, but why don't you leave? Why don't you try to leave the situation better than you found it? So yeah, a job, a relationship. I just think trying to cheer up people is kind of that's my just like try to spread joy. That's like a different thing of joking around with the baristas and the hotel staff.
Good point.
But closing, we should wrap up. And by the way, if you're new to the show, we do eventually talk about hybrid fitness. This week in particular, Sheila and I are just chomping at the bit talking about this stuff. But if you haven't seen Pluribus, jump on in. It's only 8 episodes, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long season. It moves really slow.
Yeah, it's a Vince Gilligan show. So just know that it doesn't move very. But I will say, I am 1000% Team Manousos. I am all in on that guy.
Oh, I absolutely 100% agree with you. He is the best one, don't you think?
Absolutely.
One of the YouTube videos that I watched is speculating because you know how they didn't even find him right away, like they didn't even know that he was there. One of the YouTube videos is speculating that he got kicked out, that he was originally assimilated. And then when the 11 million people died because of what Carol did, that he was somehow kicked out. And that's why he's looking up radio frequencies. He's trying to separate people because he knows it can be done. Okay.
I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't either.
But you just reminded me of another nitpick.
Okay.
When he is in his town and they drive by him, they speak Spanish.
Yes.
He doesn't speak English. We've watched him learn how to speak English. We've watched him use the translator app with hilarious consequences. When he gets his hands on that guy to try to drag him out, he's speaking English. Really good English. But they sent him someone that spoke his language. They didn't send him another English speaker. They sent Carol or Zoisha, right? And then they sent somebody that speaks his language. And by the way, they can all speak, They can all speak all languages. So why was he like, come out, Rick?
Maybe Rick was originally an English speaker.
That one jumped out at me.
Wait, are you happy thinking of all these things while you're watching it? I wouldn't be happy if I was thinking of all that stuff.
my wife hates me a lot because I figure out the plots of things. I point out things. I'm really annoying that way. Sometimes she goes, Matt, would you please shut up and watch the show?
Yeah, I would just ask you to.
But
shut
I
up.
also keep it to myself. If I think I've solved the crime, I often keep to myself. But shows now, they do the fake red herring every week.
Right.
The mystery box shows. It's like, well, we're on episode 3. She can't be the killer or the show's over.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so we'll say stuff like that to each other, right? So we just watched the one with what's her name? With the lady from Homeland. We just watched that one.
Oh, The Beast in Me.
Yes.
That was fun.
Great watch. Love both of those actors. Both amazing. He should win an award. But again, it was like, you know what I mean? It was one of those things that's like, oh, yep, too soon for that. Too soon for this.
Yes.
Same thing with, how about It's All Her Fault? Is that what it's called? It's All Her Fault. Did you see that one?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I see that one.
Oh, dude, you got to watch that one. You got to watch that one.
What's it on?
Oh, dude, so good. Google it later. But again, one of these shows.
I'm writing it down.
Lots of twists and turns. That's got to be the guy or gal. Nope, it's not. Oh, it's this, it's that. But I think that might be part of it because it's called It's All Her Fault. So you're pointing to several hers. I think maybe that was part of it, but it comes from a book. Anyway, you want to talk about plums? What do you want to talk about? We've covered a lot of TV talk.
Yeah, I think the TV talk's been good. I think, let's talk about Plum.
So
tell me what you think, because I had actually a lot of thoughts about this.
Well, I feel like we definitely talked about this before. Like, these color choices are odd, and could we have cooler colors, and couldn't people choose their nationalities? And it was like, they've run out of regular ones. So it's not just white and black, it's green and yellow, or I can't even remember them all. But the color itself, I don't have an issue with as much as the stated purpose.
I do.
We're doing this so you know who's qualified and who's not. 20 channels, including my own, are going to tell you who's qualified and who's not. B, the live feed will tell you time and time and time again, this person's already qualified. If they win, it won't matter. It'll roll out of these people. Hey, if she makes it, even if she finishes 5th, she's going to qualify. Like, that's part of the narrative. So we're doing this to help the live feed. Doesn't wash. What do you think?
I actually think it helps. I'm not opposed to it. It's got a real yellow jersey Tour de France feel to me, where you get this new thing.
And you half a credit for that.
Okay, half a credit for that. The other credit is that I'm not that smart, and I kind of don't remember. Like, I kind of don't remember.
They do say it all. I'm sure Till and Greg will say it 100 times.
Oh my gosh, do I have to listen to them? Like, it would just be great to know, right? Like, just start in the start tunnel, and it's like, okay, that person that just crossed the finish line has already qualified. I don't need to worry about that person. I just need to count the first 3 black kit people that crossed the finish line. I actually think that's going to be personally very convenient for me, because by Phoenix, like, there's been a lot of people and I don't know. And as you know, I like things to be pretty. And I think I was just watching some footage of Melbourne where Hunter was wearing his bright orange shorts. And I had a real problem with that. Like, it just looked terrible. Like, having everybody kind of kitted out in sort of these muted colors, black or plum, I think is going to look really sharp. And it's also going to communicate something that we don't need to constantly be reminded of, that we will watch those guys at wall balls and we will be knowing whether or not them crossing the finish line is of any consequence at all.
You just convinced
me.
I
like it.
Congratulations. You just convinced me. That's all it's
about. Yay. Good.
I think this is the advantage. This is a disadvantage of living in my head, because it is all I think about, right? Like, I'm going to be writing posts about who's already in and who's not, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so you know exactly that Tim Vinish, Hunter.
But if I forget, I know I can go to Rock's Life or my site and figure it out, because again, we put a lot of. So yeah, I just was not thinking like the consumer, and you are correct. So there you go.
Oh man, I never win. That's great. Okay, so I think Plum is an interesting choice. The reason being is that from what your article said, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say you're Lauren Weeks you are not a Puma sponsored athlete, right? And so you have already qualified. And so you're going to be wearing the Plum kit. But let's say you have a sponsor that wants you to wear their kit so that you can represent their brand. And so you need to then, you're welcome to wear that sponsor, but that sponsor darn well better give you a Plum kit, right? To be able to wear it. Is that correct?
You can bring your own version. They will look at it and they say, no, you must change. If you don't change, you don't start.
Right. And so I think that's the issue. I sent you and Dave varying iterations of Plum.
Well, first of all, you sent, what do you call them? Paint.
Yeah, like the paint swatches, right?
Which I'm extremely familiar with. I
thought you might be, because you have a green wall, right? That's green.
Right. The titles are amazing. The names of them are amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And
Stacy, by the way, Stacy, of course, picked the colors of the outside and the inside because she's amazing.
So cute and so homey, right? And so you can say, I want the walls to be green, but that can mean anything, right? And Plum is very tough too. Like Puma's got their Plum color. I don't know if anybody can actually get that color. Like it may be.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can pass. I think the blacks are easy to pass. I think a Plum will not pass.
So it's almost like if you've qualified for Worlds, you're in.
You're wearing what they gave you. But I also think and again, this isn't unique to HYROX, but there's not a lot of space to work with, right? Like you can wear this, but not that. And you can wear a headband, but not this. And the guys have spaces on their chest because they don't wear a shirt. So it's not easy. But again, it's not like it once was, because now the sponsors themselves can do all of their own media. You know what I'm saying? Coca-Cola and Winston cigarettes weren't doing their own media 30 years ago, so they had to have the NASCAR driver put the fucking hat on. But now they've got their own channels, so they can just show the person racing as part of it. So it's not as whatever. But obviously, if I'm the feed, if I'm a Macefit, if I'm whoever, I definitely want my brand somewhere in there during the race. I mean, and if you can, you can. But I wanted to talk about something else on there that jumped out at me, which is we send this email to you. You have 24 hours to respond. Now,
yeah, that seems crazy.
The email comes from Australia.
Yeah,
I might get it well into 24 hours, right? Like I'm 8 hours behind to begin with, or 12. Plus, what if I'm hypothetically Lauren Weeks? I don't check it the second I get up. I go exercise. I go eat. I take care of my kid. Oh, I check my emails now. Well, shit, I got 3 hours left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I asked my friend chat, is this normal? They said 24 to 36 is kind of the range. Olympic stuff, track and field, Ironman. If anyone else knows about these sports, please let me know. It's like, is it basically chat was like, is it aggressive? Yes. Is it horrible? No. I think 48 is a little bit more fair. Yes. Goes to your spam. You forget to check your spam. You know what I mean? Because we want it equal. We don't want them to say like, well, Hunter and Joanna forgot, so we reminded them, right? Like we want it to be fair across the board, but I think 36 to 48 is a little bit more fair. But I did ask Matt, hoping for clarity, and Matt's great. Matt always gets back to me. And he said, this was a private communication athletes, and I'm not going to answer it. I'm like, okay. So if they want to ask, go for it. And again, sometimes he'll answer me. Sometimes he'll say, that's not your business, Matt. And he's that right. But don't you think
information defines relationships, right?
What's that?
Information defines relationships.
But in this case, I will say, and again, maybe this is too behind the weeds for people. Communication, though, right? He gets back to me quickly.
Yes.
Right.
This deposit. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we have a very good relationship where he gets back to me relatively quickly, sometimes sooner than I would think. Like I said, he'll just be waking. So Matt, congratulations on being a good guy, and like he always, and like, but I almost said, why don't you give 36 hours? But then I like, well, wait, now I'm cheerleading. I just want to ask the question as like a journalist, like, hey, what do you, because maybe he hadn't thought of it. Maybe he's busy and he just, well, yeah, you're right. I'm already a day ahead of these people. So anyway, I would like a little more, if I'm number 18 and I somehow get a roll down and they message me and I don't happen to check my email that day, I don't know. I'm scared. But if you're in the top 30, check your fucking email and check your spam every day.
Constantly. Yeah, no, I'd be nervous all the time.
So anyway, I think that was interesting. Again, it's like, it's not in the grand scheme of the world. Is it massive? No, but it did stand. Again, these are the things that jump out to me. Like 24 hours, that's fast.
Especially in a worldwide sport, when you have people literally all around the globe, like that's a lot. Yeah, that it is aggressive. I like that term. That
Right.
chat.
Like, thank you, chat. Right.
Yeah. Nice
Unreasonable, job. No, or unreasonable, maybe. Aggressive, yes. Unheard of, no. Or like it's possible to be this way. So
it just feels like, look, it feels like, say, the hybrid engine athletes, like they're going to be in so much communication with each other that nobody's going to miss anything, right? Like there's going to be this top tier of people who are sort of used to doing this. It really is the roll downs, right? It really is the 18, 19. And you really do hate to see that be the reason why they're not coming.
I think this rolls right into our next topic. People forfeiting their spot and new people getting in. That's been the big news this week. You look surprised.
I have not heard about this.
Well, you need to get on with it, Cheryl. You need to, clearly your life doesn't rise and set over HYROX news like it does for me.
You didn't even ask me about my weekend. Dave at least asked me how I was doing. I know that you were finishing your nice stuff, but yeah, I know you're in a different spot than I am.
Sure, you said, I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't matter. That's what I said when I asked you about it.
Here's the deposit is, hey, I'm really sorry, right? Like, there you go.
Did I miss that?
You did.
Like, sorry, you're having a rough time?
Yes.
You're right. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
I was definitely in my own world.
You have definitely been in your own world this weekend, and I understand that about you.
So I because you know I care, Cheryl.
I know you do.
Hey, big quick shout out. My Cook Unity order has been delivered. I'm in the Spartan 300 thing, and you get free meals. These are really good. I've never done the meal in a box thing, but I can tell you that me and my wife both like these.
Oh, good.
And obviously they tell you right in the box, here's the carbs, here's the macros, whatever, but they actually taste really good. So
nice. There are so many good meal companies out there now. I think if you've got the money, it's just totally worth it just to have them cook for you.
Well, I just think to me, like, I just feel like for the 25 to 35 single person, it would be the best thing. Like, I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to mess with dinner.
The last month before my son and new daughter-in-law got married, she had her bridal shower, and that's what I gifted her, was a month worth of meal prep from the place we use. And, it just kept her fed and watered, right? Like she just needed it because she was so busy.
Okay. The first one was Sika and Manuela, let's say her name right, Manuela Garcia Caparros have accepted their world spot because there was a roll down because, now I'm going to get their names wrong, Molly and Meg, who qualified, turned it down because guess what? HYROX isn't even their number one thing in life.
Oh, don't you love that? When they're like,
so good. Imagine being so good at a fucking sport that you qualified for the world champs. You're like, we're good.
It's like Bill McFarland, who's just like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. Like, that's crazy.
So congrats to Meg and Molly.
Yes.
But
for being better than all of us.
Right. The other one makes a little bit more sense. Everybody's favorite last name in the business, and I have to look at it so I don't get it wrong, Margaret and Charlotte Vanden Lindenloof are now in because the two Laurens have decided they're not racing together. Now, I think that's because Lauren is going to race in who did Lauren already race with?
With Vivian?
Yes. Or no, she would have had to have turned that one down already. So I guess Lauren and Vivian are going to race again in Phoenix because you have to turn her down ahead of time. Remember, that's what we learned last time.
Right.
From Lauren?
Okay.
So the Laurens are out because they're not going to race together at Worlds. They're going to race with other people, I guess. And so if they weren't paying attention to their fucking spam, they would have been fucked. Maybe it's different for these. Maybe it's longer for these. But yeah, congratulations. So
Okay.
what color is that? Is that plum or is that
I think
maroon?
that's plum. I think that's the plum they're going with. But see, that's the thing. Like plum's a million colors,
That's
right?
maroon. I
There's
would
no
have.
way they're going to be able to
You
match
put a
it.
gun to my head, I would have told you that was maroon.
It does look very maroon, and maybe they are going with something more subtle and dustier, right? I don't know, but that's the thing. Who's going to be able to find out what the color is ahead of time to make a kit that's going to match it? Nobody's going to be able to do that.
Well,
So
managers,
they're just going Puma. That's what's
brand managers and athlete managers are going to say things like, what do you call it?
that color profile or
The
whatever.
hex code.
Yeah,
And
the
they're going
hex
to try to
code.
put something together.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is Puma may have like a patent on that hex code, right? Like they may not be interested in giving that up.
I wanted to find these guys. I can't find them. Molly and Meg. Congratulations. I think it's on UKXR, maybe. UKHXR. UK. I'm surprised you missed it though. This has been in a lot of places.
I will admit, I'm already so dumb that I need them to have different colors on the course, right? So because I just don't, I'm not so locked in on that. And I think doubles for me is overwhelming with all the names and all the different iterations. It's been really hard for me to kind of root for teams.
That one definitely needs the multiple colors. Doubles, I think, is harder to keep track of.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't actually know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know who's in for Worlds. It's been really tough. I think last year there were fewer people kind of gunning for it. And so,
right. And now it's wide open.
Wide open. And there's so many people that it's really hard to kind of enjoy any kind of narrative. And, you're saying these names and I'm like, do I know them? I don't know if I know them. Like, it's really hard. So I don't know if HYROX realizes that has just become so diluted as opposed to, I think that the major system was working great as far as being able to see these folks race together and kind of knowing the names and having a few surprises here and there. I think that the majors are working great for the singles.
Yeah, I think we all like it in theory, but I think we've talked about how the crowd is down, the numbers are down, people just aren't as excited.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can you? Like, a solo world champion is a solo world champion. There's nothing better than that, right?
Right. And these teams are, I don't know. I just can't keep track of them. I mean, the fact that so the Spaniards that came in, the guys that came in like third last year because of those screaming good wall balls, like they were just so quick and so good at their cycle rate. And I was so impressed with them. I still don't remember their name. Like, they deserve for me to know their name. And yet they showed up. They did a great job. They passed a bunch of people who we expected to win. And I still don't know who they are. And I don't even know if they're competing this year.
Yeah, well, you're going to get yelled at, I'm sure, by their friends, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, I feel terrible about that, right? But I think that it's not the fault of them not being good enough athletes. It's that it doesn't seem like the doubles narrative is as sticky as the singles. And so here these people are working super hard, being so good at it. And yet we're just not able to pay.
It's kind of like when you think about it, it's kind of like Wimbledon, right? Who wins the doubles? I'm sure that there's big money for doubles.
Yes.
And like the McEnroe brothers have won it 100 times, but I only know that because Patrick and because of John McEnroe. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the Williams sisters, but like, you don't really care. So, I mean, listen, a chance for more eyeballs, more sponsors, more money, we'll take it. But yes, I think it's a little messy. It is giving, let's call them second and third tier athletes a shot they definitely wouldn't get.
Well, second and third tier in the singles area.
That's
right.
What I mean.
They're excellent doubles partners. They're really, really good at that kind of racing.
Right. If you're in that tier, you would be very wise to like find yourself a really good partner and be like, how can I get to the big dance this way instead? And some people will always make both, and some will just make it through. And then, you're going to hear these great stories of people who finish third or finish fourth, and then it's bumped to third because of whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of too bad. Because I know they're working just as hard as everybody else, right? And so I don't know.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It's a lot to keep track of, for sure. and just and especially the way they have it to where, like for instance, Lauren Weeks starts with Lauren Griffith and now is with Vivian and can do that, right? Like and good heavens, like them in Vancouver, it was incredible to watch them. But the fact that people are kind of moving through, who is it that has gone through like 4 or 5 partners and is on the leaderboard for, I can't remember.
A bunch of them are.
Yeah, a bunch of them are, but it's like, is it Seka Arning that's doing, like she's just so good and she just picks somebody up and, they do great. It's just really hard to keep track. And so, you think of Puma or Nike, are any of those guys going to pick up a doubles?
It's more like,
athlete,
it's
right?
more like if their singles athletes also do well in doubles, they're happy. By the way, Dave did text. He's still at work. He couldn't even text. He was in a spot where he couldn't text. So,
man,
just me and Cheryl this week.
I hate it when Dave's not here.
Well, listen, we talked about relationships and TV shows, which we usually
definitely not what Dave would have wanted to talk about, or colored uniforms. He actually wouldn't want to talk about that either.
Are you sure?
He seems to be very opposed to all the pretty stuff. I think he just doesn't care.
Okay.
I was just listening to his podcast where he was complaining about how there are now coaches in HYROX, which I should think about this. Maybe I could have a niche here. There are coaches in HYROX who are coaching people how to pose for their photos in the race, right?
In the race.
Like, how do you make sure that your photos turn out great? They are coaching people on what to do and how to look.
I'm not sure. Could you, I think we've all done the thing where we see a photographer and we go from I'm dying to smiling or I'm dying to looking strong. I mean, haven't we all done that? I don't know what the coaching is.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like people, some people don't know this, but most do. Okay. I told my friend Clayton, I know he'll be okay with it. Clayton will record a video of himself talking and he'll hold the phone right here. And I'm like, Clayton, we're looking up your nose and at your car ceiling. Don't do that. Hold it here. Now, the higher you hold it, the thinner your face is. Right? So you're worried about your chins here. You're really worried about your chins all the way up here. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that kind of stuff people need to learn. Have the sun behind you. Don't be looking.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Have this be looking into the sun, not behind you. That's what I thought you meant at first. But what is the coach saying? Twist your delt during the ski?
My thought would be, if I was, because I used to do some photography, and my thought would be the coaching that I would give them would have a lot to do with spotting the cameraman, and when you see the camera person, the photographer, making sure that you are doing the things that you're talking about. You're holding your chin out. You've got certain postures that you're going to do that are going to look better, say on the sled pole or on the skier. It's not just about smiling for the camera, but it's about having the right angles and about making sure your hips don't look wide and making sure you're not slouching during the farmer carry and making sure, like, all that kind of stuff. I mean, these people who want good content are going to need to look really good in these photos. And so I think
it's part of the fun though, right?
What's that?
Looking bad is sometimes part of the fun, right? Like, it's fun to post. And I mean, during OCR, you learn, like, there's 100 people jumping over the fire right now. Wait till they go. Now it's just you. Like, we all kind of learned that one. So, and what's great about HYROX is you never have to worry. Someone takes a picture. We'll take a picture of you pretty much every single station, multiple times.
So then just knowing what poses you want to hit when they're taking the photos is, I think, a new thing. And I think, to Dave's point, he's like, I never pay attention to that, right? I think some of us are racing, right? Like, we're very, very busy racing and it's fine. But, well, I'll say there's that photo of you and me where you're on the rower and I'm behind you. And it's honestly one of my favorite photos of 2025. Like, I just thought it turned out so great, right? And so you want that feeling, like you want to have the nice photos. And I think for those of us who are sort of trying to get better times, trying for a podium, that's why we're out there. We're not going to be as worried. But I think a lot of people are just there to say they've done a HYROX and because they want to look good, kind of sweaty and cute, So I think it's going to work. I think these coaches are probably onto something, giving them some cues.
All right. Yeah. Do whatever. Listen, you do. I'm happy anybody's signing up for HYROX.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, but long story short, I just think Dave's a little grumpy about that, right? Andy Lee thinks that Dave should be called Grumpy Dave. And
Yeah,
I think
we've discussed this. I think this has come up before. He can be quite the grump.
a little bit of curmudgeon going on there some days.
We've had the cruise as a topic for a long time. Have we ever talked about the HYROX Cruise? I feel like maybe initially, like before
we
they
initially talked about it, and we were all three curmudgeons about that. We all thought, oh my gosh, that is so not for me, right? But now it's got a date, and they're going to actually do it. And they seem to be advertising it. So I don't know. What do you think now that you know more about it?
Well, I'm going to pull it up here. And Ian K thought because they're advertising it so much, they must not be selling the tickets that they thought they would.
Okay.
And my thought is there's no way the whole boat is ours. They're going to sell tickets to other people. Like there's just no way. There's way too many, right? A boat is huge, even a small one.
That's the thing is I don't know the number.
So those people will pay less, but then they won't have a wristband to come to the blah blah parties, right? The people that are just going, right?
I see. Okay, so there would be like a section of the boat. There would be a section.
Well, like at the Spartan Cruise, there were people partying that weren't necessarily us. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, they bought a cruise because it only cost $500 if you live in Miami to leave from Miami and go 3 days and drink.
You went on a Spartan Cruise?
We talked about this.
Oh, how do I not remember this? Remind us.
I said the fact that I went on the HYROX Cruise is why I have to go to this one, because it famously was so memorable because first of all, Joe like imagined it to be some fitness fest, what HYROX is promoting, but cruises are known for drinking and buffets. Like that's kind of what they are. Like that's why most people do them. Yes. So he was like, what's going on? Like, this isn't what I thought it would be at all. And then there were some.
You think you were supposed to suffer on there?
Yes. And then apparently there were some late night drunken hookups, etc., to which I was not a part of because I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Right. Of course there were.
But it just became just kind of a goofy, remember the Spartan Cruise? And if you were there, you were there. You know what I mean? I'm so glad I was on it. So, but again, that left for Miami. It was an hour flight for me. This is a much longer flight. So if I think where I'm at is if I somehow get some sort of media, whatever, if the crew, because it's called HYROX Experiences, like it's a different company. Okay. If through HYROX Experiences or through Fittest or one of those, they're like, hey, we'd love you to come and make all kinds of content about it because we want to do more, I would probably go. At this point, knowing how busy my year is, would I go just for another HYROX? Probably not.
Okay.
But then again, if it gets close and people start talking about it, maybe I will. But just again, there's so much going on. So
because it's in October, isn't it?
It's end of October, I want to say.
So that's kind of that gets knee deep into the season. That would be tough.
Yeah. So 350 hours of expert-led classes, challenges, and clinics. So what's that? That's like, hey, Lauren weeks from 10 to 12, and then Hunter from 1 to 2, and right?
Yes.
Like they're going to fly all those people in, right? Right. Community group workouts. HYROX Series 65, which we all know, right, is amazing.
Oh, right? Absolutely. I know everything about it.
Workshop, panel talks, meet and greets, the same athletes I just mentioned, plus maybe they get Erg Army lady there, right? Maybe they get who else have they? Eric Hinman, right? Extraordinary party. I mean,
extraordinary,
right? A HYROX race in a format you've never seen before, featuring special athletes. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna run around the boat, right? Is that what that means?
Special athletes. What does that mean?
I mean, I'm pretty special. Maybe I'll be one of the VIPs. Is that possible?
That's what I mean. Like that could be anything.
What are the percentage? What's the percentage chance I'm one of the special guests you get to race with?
Listen, you and Matt.
This is where if Dave was on the show, Dave would be like 0, Matt. 0.
I just want to know what they consider a special athlete.
Well, again,
that's what I want to know.
But this is what you can do when you're trying to sell something. You use vague terms like
they could
kind, special, unique,
extraordinary,
bespoke. All right, so back to this thing.
I don't even know if they need to use the vague terms. I think the people who want to do this are going to do it without any.
Well, first of all, their biggest audience is Euros, and all the Euros in UKs, they do this shit all the time. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
By the way, guess what else there probably is? Unique fucking patch, right?
Oh, it better be. Better be.
Curated on and off-board entertainment, including special activities in Marseille and Barcelona. Again, I'm guessing here on these days in the town, it's like go to the Puma store and we're going to have a shakeout.
Right.
I mean, I'm not poo-pooing this stuff. I'm just guessing, right?
So it goes to the 25th. When does it start? It starts. So it's like 4 days of all that.
Yes.
That sounds exhausting.
Well, and a lot of overwhelm on the people too, right?
Right. No, that's
boarding and check-in, day at sea, go to France. So hang out in France all day, hang out in Spain all day. And then you land and you end in France. So you got to come back home. You got to get back to wherever you. Oh no! It started in Spain and ends in Spain.
Starts in Spain and ends in Spain. But then in the interim, there's workouts. It's for high energy people, for sure. I mean, I have been to hybrid camps where we have legitimately just spent like the day working out, 3 times. Yeah.
Wait a minute. We can't even go.
Why not?
Can't even go. Due to travel regulations, this trip is open to passengers with permanent residency within EU CHUK. All nationalities are welcome, but permanent residency, if you reside in US or APAC, please stay patient. There's so much more to come soon. So hold the fort here. Hold the fucking phone.
So nobody from
how could they not?
Yeah.
So you're telling me that if Hunter and Lauren or any Americans are the world champs, they're not going to bring them?
Doesn't look like it.
By the way, I look forward to our shitty Fort Lauderdale to New Orleans port back and forth. These people get to go to fucking Spain and France. And we get the shitty end of the stick.
That's what we get for living in America.
All right. So
we're going to do a booze cruise to Catalina.
So here's what happens. Somebody sold them this deal, right?
Yeah.
And they launched a company called HYROX Experiences. And this is, and again, Christian loves this, right? Christian's a party animal. He loves this shit. So he's all for it. Sure, whatever. I don't even want to look at the prices now because fuck you. I can't even go. What kind of bullshit is this?
Yeah. So it's just all the EU people. Okay. UK and EU, which
wait a minute. We're putting a hole in this right now. Stop this insanity. Stop the insanity. Compete with me on the HYROX Cruise. Lauren Weeks, an American citizen, right?
Okay. Well, I suppose they can make special.
Joanna.
And APAC.
Right?
Right.
So what the fuck?
Well, then they're special.
Other than that, it's 4 ads of this woman's butt.
Yeah, how about that?
All right. I don't know who I have to call.
Look, they're wearing Plum.
Please let us know in the comments. Are you going to the cruise? Did you already buy your tickets? What are your thoughts?
We need to have some correspondent there. Somebody who's going to get.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Somebody will send me some stories, I'm sure.
We definitely want to see that.
But I'm going to reach out to the folks at HYROX Experiences and ask them directly the question, because clearly maybe they thought it would sell out otherwise, so they get first dibs. But again, Ian K was saying they keep advertising this. Maybe it didn't sell out as quickly as they thought.
I don't know. That's surprising to me, but it's still early. I mean, it's January and it's in October.
I know, but people register for races. They sell out quick, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, sorry you can't go. Well,
we're going to find out if I can go.
Talk to Lauren about how she can go.
Yeah. She's just going to show up because they invited her, but I'm going to ask HYROX. If you're on the inside and you know who you are, send me a DM, because some people do. Like, hey, I've heard about this. This is what I can tell you or not tell you. Yeah. I feel like there were a couple of comments I was going to read. Speaking of really good comments, and now I feel like I forgot them.
Comments as to posts that
Like we get YouTube comments on videos, and I'm like, oh, I should read that, but I can't remember them.
Yeah, no, I sent one to Dave but it wasn't. It was about the World Fitness Project thing, so it wasn't about much other than that. Sometimes we get really good YouTube comments. I can't imagine people are going to chime in about relationship advice today.
Well,
you never know.
I don't think we'll get any public comments on that. I think we might get some DMs.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm surprised we talked as long as we did, actually.
I'm not. We're at an hour 5. I'm not.
I would suspect, I am predicting that by next week we get the information about qualifications. Don't you think? He said January. Wait for the holidays to be over and then let us know.
Let's hope so, because it'll give us time to talk about it.
Yes, I would appreciate that. And then other than that, I think DECA's just rolling along. LT's just rolling along. I don't know if there's anything. And Athex is supposed to announce their U.S. locations. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have more to talk about next week.
Yeah, that's all I got. All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.